Weigh the anchor. How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. Water doesn't look too shabby. It's been fairly dirty. You can tie it off, or get like 2 handfuls and then tie it off. It's been fairly dirty the past couple weeks out here in the deep water. We had a busy 4th of July weekend, and the weather got nice, and we decided to come out and do some spear fishing. Got Pal and Malin. J Mar's the man. Haven't seen him in a while. J Mar's. Mermaid Kate. And Cooking with Clams, you know him. But long it's all our aliases. Last year I made a video about the mangrove snapper spawn, and I kind of swam down. This isn't the same spot, but I swam down, left the camera, and just showed you what these mangroves do this time of year. We're coming back around to that time of year, and the mangroves are starting to stack up on the reef. And just to give you a little information, you're gonna see once I get in the water here, there's gonna be a lot of mangroves. That's what we're out here to grab. We're gonna grab a few for dinner for the week. And I've got some more I've got to pick up for a friend. We're gonna trade for some goodies on Key West, but just keep in mind, this is one of hundreds of mangrove spawns that happen here off of Key West. They are all over the place. I have spots where there's literally 1,000 of these things. So it's a very sustainable fishery. We're gonna get in today and show you what it looks like. And we're gonna pop a couple for dinner. Let's come along. Welcome back underwater, everybody. I feel like it's been a while since I've done a full-blown dive episode on the big boat, but I do thank you for coming along. So this is second drop of the spot. I actually missed the ledge a little, and when I dropped I was kind of wondering why I wasn't seeing very many mangroves, but it turns out I actually missed the spot just by 100 yards or so. But you can see still had a few mangroves around. That guy wasn't sure of me at first, and I kind of just was patient, as I always try to be, and got the good broadside stone shot there. Big fan of those. I was pretty positive I stoned it, but I just wanted to be extra sure just in case I spined it by chance. Kind of a hippie.
Nice little mangy.
So I slid over and found the correct ledge, and when I drop here in a second you'll see why. And I said it at the beginning of the video, but I'll say it again. I have hundreds of these mangrove spawns. This is one of the most healthy fisheries there are down here. If I drove around and hit all my mangrove spawns in one day, I promise you I could see 20,000 mangroves. There are just a ton of them. And you'll see, I kind of got one in mind, one that's a little bigger, and fish school to confuse you. This fish gets out of the school and you can see he kind of tells he's getting real squirmy, he's doing donuts. So when you see those fish wall up, they're doing that as a way to confuse you, to not be able to pick your target. You're a predator, they're just, honestly, they're just trying to get away. They want to live too. So this fish is doing just that. I gave him his space, and because he wasn't really cooperating, and I kind of get low on the reef and use it as kind of structure, and kind of gives me that broadside shot, and felt good about the first shot, so I let it fly and got another stone shot there.
Yeah, man. You beat me. Where's the die ball?
saw me coming.
Nice shot.
He said no meat shots.
Hey.
There we go. Yay!
It's a good one.
Aaron's always got to one-up me.
So as I always say, YouTube is a highlight reel, and this is your daily reminder of reality. I think I took about 30 dives on this day, and I believe I only shot 5 fish, if I remember correctly. Don't shoot them on every dive. You don't have to shoot them on every dive. You can see lots of mangroves around. I just didn't see one that jumped out at me. So I didn't take a shot. You can see that I didn't stone this fish. Went kind of crazy, and if you notice, I'm using my hand as almost like the guide on the tip of a rod. I'm just pulling that other string to it to pin that fish up against that shaft. It's a lot easier than trying to grab that fish free swimming around on that line. Kind of just asking for a mess there, but I use that technique where I just pull the line through the other hand and pin that fish up against the shaft. It tends to work pretty well. So I do something on this dive that I wouldn't necessarily recommend for beginners. Just because you see me do it doesn't mean you should try it. And quite honestly, I don't do it very often. I just was kind of lazy and didn't feel like swimming back to the boat. I left a fish on my shooting line on the gun, and a lot of times you're just kind of asking for trouble there. Having 2 fish, it's an extra thing you got to watch out for. Luckily, I stoned this fish, so I didn't have the issue of that one going crazy, and then I'm worrying about this one getting wrapped or another predator trying to grab it, a barracuda, a shark, whatever. But just because you see me do that doesn't mean it's a good idea. I typically try not to do that if I can help it. Like I said, I was being lazy. And you'll see here on my way up, it gets a little clustery here. I've got another fish spinning while I'm swimming up, so it kind of creates a little bit of a mess. And in this situation, first thing I do, just let my shaft drop. Let that weight help me untangle this line. I see a lot of people that'll bring the shaft up with the line and they're trying to undo it all together. The fastest way is let the gun get away from you, let the shaft get away from you. Let those two things separate and kind of work from there. You getting them, babe? How many you got? Dang!
How many you got?
That's my girl.
How many you got?
I don't know. 4? Maybe? So this is actually my good friend Kate making a drop, and I feel so bad. Something happened in one of my previous charters where the shaft got bent on this gun, and I let her use it, and I didn't check the gear before I let her use it, and she missed I think like 4 or 5 fish, and we could not figure out why. And I went back out a couple days later and shot the gun, and I realized that the shaft was bent, and I felt so bad. But sorry, Kate, and it's just a friendly reminder that always check your gear, especially after you shoot a big fish or something goes on. It was very subtle, you couldn't really barely see it, but it was enough to throw that shot off by 4 or 5 inches, so just a friendly reminder. So it's been a while since I've done some ledge hunting for bigger fish, you know, the black groupers and whatnot. Kind of itching to get back out there, quite honestly. Hopefully this water stays clear and I can get a chance to get back out there my next day off. But you see a big Goliath grouper there. A lot of different techniques that goes into this, a little more complex. But I love sharing it, love doing it. It's very tactical. You see a big black margate there. Not my favorite fish to eat. Some people eat them, but I am not one of them. So we can use this as another example of why not to leave a fish on your line. Like I said, normally sometimes I'll stuff them up in my wetsuit, but I only had a topper on. If you stuff a mangrove snapper up in your suit with just a topper, there's a good chance you're going to get cut up. And I don't mean to sound like I'm telling you guys not to do stuff and then blatantly doing it in front of you. I do this enough, so I'm just kind of sharing my experiences. I was just being lazy, quite honestly. You can see I had one mangrove in mind there, and this guy's moving pretty quick, and I kind of shifted my shot, and I wouldn't call it a Hail Mary, but I kind of took a leap of faith there. It wasn't out of range, it was just that fish was moving pretty quickly, and I more so felt that shot than anything, and it luckily hit its mark. And you'll see I had that fish on the stringer, and just the velocity of the shot pulled that other snapper off, and if I wouldn't have been paying attention, I may have lost that fish there, so that would have been a silly mistake. So we have got what we came for. We've got dinner covered, and we've got the supplies we need to make a trade. And I'll explain a little more what I'm talking about when we get in. Got cooking with clams, tossing up some ceviche. Go over to his channel, excuse me, and check that out. But we're gonna enjoy our afternoon here, and we'll see you back at the dock here shortly. So we are down in Key West, and as I said before, we needed some fish to make a trade. If you're not familiar with Key West, excuse me, we're kind of cut off from the mainland, so we don't have access to a lot of things.
120 miles.
120 miles from the mainland. And with that being said, there's a lot of stuff you can't have, you can't grow, especially like fruit and whatnot, unless you live in a good area with good soil. We absolutely love mangoes, and we cannot figure out how to grow them in our yard. So I know a good feller with a bunch of mango trees that just happens to love fish. He's an old ex-commercial fisherman, and he's a little too old to get out nowadays, so I trade him fish for mangoes. So we're gonna go make a stop, and out of respect for his privacy, he's kind of a to himself kind of guy. I'm not gonna bring the camera in, but we're gonna go grab some mangoes and show you what we end up with. Got the package. So, if you've never had fresh mango, not fresh mangoes, like homegrown mangoes compared to store-bought. The problem with store-bought is I think that they pull them early from the tree so they last to get through shipping and get to where they need to go. When you grow them at your house, they fall off the tree when they're ready. They're fully pumped full of everything they need to be full of, and they are just, to me, it's night and day. So what I've actually got here, I've got two varieties. This is called Valencia Pride. This is one of my favorites to make like a ceviche or a chutney or to top with, or you can eat them just like that. And this little fella right here is called a carry.
Gold.
This is literally worth its weight in gold. It's also referred to as an ice cream mango. And I think the main difference between this and this is, there's no strings in this. This has been bred or cross-seeded or whatever you want to call it over the years, and they've got all the strings out of it. So this one is referred to as an ice cream mango. And if you're from Miami or somewhere and you can get me an ice cream mango tree and figure out how to make it grow in my yard, let me know. I will pay for it gladly. But we've got our mangoes, so we're gonna head home and make something mango-y for dinner. It is time for dinner. So I had planned on making kind of a mango puree sauce type of deal, and got a little nervous about it, quite honestly. I called Will, my culinary confidant. He just left for New York, so he's actually out of town. So I called him and he gave me a little extra inspiration, so I'm gonna take it a step further. So what you'll need is, I've got a red chili. This is a Valencia Pride mango. I'm sure you can use any mango. This one just has a really good flavor. Some white onion, some limes. I've got some cilantro already chopped up, and a little bit of garlic. So I'm gonna get this stuff diced up and show you what we're gonna do with it. So I have juiced my limes. I only used 2. Got a little bit of white onion, a little bit of garlic, and some diced up mango. So I'm gonna heat these up and cook them down just briefly. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cook this down just a little bit. We're gonna make a puree. I'm gonna save the other half of that mango, dice it up, mix it with my red chili and cilantro and the puree, and we will have our sauce. I was gonna put some red onion in there as well, but I realized I don't have a red onion. So that didn't take much, just a little bit of heat. Bring those onions and garlic down. Honestly, I don't know, I probably could have just left the mango, but we're gonna try it. All right, so I let that cool down a little. I don't know if that's required. I have this weird thing about warmed fruit, and I didn't think of it until I started cooking that mango down. All right, so we've got lime juice, garlic, some white onion, mango, and a little bit of salt. Taste. I know you're not supposed to put the spoon back in there, but wow. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. All right, so we're gonna add some cilantro, red chili to taste. These were, I feel like they're jalapenos. Like sometimes they're crazy hot, sometimes they're not at all. We're gonna add our diced mango. See where we're at on heat. I never would have thought to put garlic in there, but that was Will's idea. And man, it turned out great. You see, got some nice colors, looks pretty good. Oh wow. It's got a little bit of heat from the red chili. It's nice and smooth because of the mango. Kind of cools it down. The cilantro gives it a little twang. I'm very happy with that. So we're gonna get our fish ready and assemble dinner. All right, so gonna blacken our fish. Just a simple blackening, whatever you prefer works. Wanted to show you real quick. We gave away some of our mangrove to trade for the mangoes, but this is grunt on the left, this is mangrove on the right, and they're really, can't tell much of a difference there. So just a little blackening in olive oil. And we're gonna do some asparagus on the side, nothing crazy fancy on the sides. Beautiful. Pretty small fillets, so they won't take long. Alrighty. We are looking good. Madeline was supposed to be here, but she's having girl talk down by the water. Must have got pretty intense. Got our mango sauce. This meal definitely needs a starch, but screw it and put some on there too. Definitely needs a starch, but I'm trying to be healthy. Move you up here. There we are. Mango, cilantro, red chili sauce. Black and grunt. A little bit of mangrove in there. Wow. Can't remember if I've said this before, but I love it when you have something hot and something cool and they kind of clash. The mango brings the red chili down just a little bit. Wow. That is an amazing flavor. Holy moly. Y'all are missing out. There is one more thing I have to show you before I go. So we talked about the other mangoes. We got two of them. One was a Carry and one was a Valencia Pride. Valencia Pride was everything in here, and this is a Carry. Normally save this for dessert, but I'm going to show you guys. So this one actually got a little bruised up. They are very delicate. They are a very delicate mango. I did not handle it with care, and it bruised. So it may not be as pretty as it's supposed to be, but this is why it's called an ice cream mango. So your normal mango has a little bit of stringiness to it. That, you just twist it, twist the seed out. You literally eat it with a spoon. There is no greater mango on the planet, in my opinion. It's a mango-y kind of evening. I'm gonna save that for later. But that is all I've got for this one. I know I say that every time, but it's true. It's all I got. As always, I appreciate you guys' time so much. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you've got any ideas, I'll try to get to them. Let me know. Leave them in the comments. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.